Yo yo, what is up YouTube, or should I say what the crap is going on? Heir of Carthage here. You can see that I am about to host a game in Rome Total War. This is going to be a live one, so hopefully it'll be fun. I may not like commentate too much during the game because I'm going to try and play. We're going to do a CWB match. Actually we're not going to do a CWB match. We're going to do a 1v1. And the main reason why I hate CWB is because it unfairly favors the Romans. Big time. CWB is like made by people so that the Romans are even better than they already are. Because the Romans are easily defeatable if you're able to bring, elephants or certain units like that. And so there's a reason why the people made the CWB rules. It's because it makes it easier to spam urbans and win. So, I mean, there's those balancing units that CA had in there to make other factions better against Rome, and when you take those out, it definitely ends up being bad. At least that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. If you don't, that's fine. If you do, that's fine. I don't want to play in the Syrian flats, actually. Let's play in the, well, everybody likes the grassy puke lands. We'll play there. Except one difference. Let's make this interesting. Let's go to show advanced settings, and we'll have it on summer, but we'll put it on, let's see, we'll put it on light rain, just to have something be a little bit different. Okay, so the match is hosted. Let's see if anybody joins. We'll change the cash to 15k, like I said we would. I'm not sure who I'd want to play as. I mean, I typically like to play as Carthage in these matches. Just to give you all a little bit of, sorry I've been so busy the last few days. I don't know if you all know it or not. There's some big news. I say I don't know if you know it. Of course you don't know it. I haven't told you. Heir has some big news for you, and I'll tell you the smaller bit of big news first, but it's still big news. I am moving. So that's part of the reason why I haven't put up any videos, because I'm moving out of my apartment, moving to a different one, and just for a little while, and so that's kept me busy. This is probably the last one of the last videos I'm going to record in this apartment before I get set up in my new one. And then the other big news is, you all ready for this? So Heir is getting married. That's right. Heir is getting married, so I'm real excited. It's going to happen in a few months, so I will be busy getting ready for that as well, but I will still, of course, be trying to bring you videos. And just so you all know, the soon-to-be Mrs. Heir is aware of the fact that I like to make these videos, and she's totally okay with that. So it doesn't mean an end to my videos, but it does mean that I will obviously have to prioritize how I take care of things. So in any case, hopefully someone will join here in just a minute. That gives you an update on where I've been. I am still planning on, like I said, this is a weekend for me, although you're going to see this on the weekday. It's a weekend, so I said I was going to try and do some online battles on the weekend, and I'm going to try and put out some campaign during the week, just because the campaign's a little bit easier to film during the week when I have a little less time. So I hope you all enjoy it that way, and I will do my best to get it to you. It is not a promise, but it is what I'm going to be trying to doing, and hey, it's a good start, because here I am, right? So I wanted to talk to you all about Rome Total War a little. That's why I'm playing this game. Rome 2 is coming out soon, and some of you wanted my little wish list, so while I'm waiting on someone to join, perhaps I will give you some of my wish list here. The number one thing that I have on my wish list is that they make the factions more historically based, and also add in unit caps like you have on Shogun and Empire and Napoleon. There has to be unit caps. No more of this 6 urban cohorts, 5 Praetorian Cav, whatever. All these units are ridiculous. They need to rebalance all those units. Urban Cohort's a complete baloney unit. Praetorian Cav's a complete baloney unit. The Carthaginians weren't using Sacred Band infantry like this, not any time during the Roman eras at least. And I mean, they just need to go back and make the game more realistic as far as the army compositions. And then number 2, they've got to cap the elite units so that Rome Total War is not just a stinking elite unit spam like it used to be. Now this game is fun. I like the game, but it is. That's what Rome Total War is. It's who can spam the elite units in the most effective manner and then maneuver them the best. And really, when it comes down to it, Rome is hands down, no question, the best faction on this game whenever you're playing CWB rules, period. And the higher the money goes, the better Rome gets. So it's a frustrating piece of thing there. Now, CA has done things in the last few releases to address this type of thing, so I do not expect it in Rome 2. I'm just saying that if something were going to be different, that's something I hope to see different. You'll notice that as successive games released, you were no longer able to pick the amount of money. They had certain levels, and their balancing was built to those money levels. Now, I do expect that Rome 2 will be quite different from Shogun 2, just in the fact that all the factions on Shogun 2 are using similar troops, and they're similar type factions, whereas in the ancient world, the factions could be very different. And so I don't know if they're going to do the same type of avatar multiplayer system. I assume that that's probably going to stay around, although, I mean, I hope they tweak it to where it fits Rome. I loved the way it was in Shogun 2. I know a lot of you didn't. I really thought it was neat. But I hope they tweak it in such a way that it works with Rome, because I think in its current state it would be a very odd thing indeed to bring it over to Rome. In any case, I hope to see like I would love to see, though, either the ability to develop historic generals in campaign, and or the ability to have an avatar in campaign, because that would be fun to like build your own avatar. You know, he gains his way to the top of Roman politics or whatever. You get to name your veteran units in campaign and stuff. That would be awesome. You know, you could have like nicknames for your cohorts and blah blah blah. Yeah, I just think it'd be sweet. And then I think as far as expansion packs, we could hope to see something like, you know, a new Alexander the Great expansion, a Hannibal expansion, or just like an expansion that's called like, you know, the Ancient Generals or whatever, where you get to play like a Pyrrhus campaign, a Hannibal campaign, you know, a Greek campaign. Like you could have all these mini campaigns and stuff. It'd just be really fun. So there's a lot of things they could do with Rome 2, and a lot of expansions they could throw into it. So I think it's a really fantastic foundation, and hopefully CA will really build on it, which I expect they will, because I know some of you don't agree, but I think in their successive releases, CA has really started to refine their games, and I do expect a lot from them on this next one, and I think that it will turn out very well. There are not anybody joining my game, and there is not anybody hosting any games yet. So hopefully someone will change that up, but certainly no one was joining mine. There's probably not a lot of players on right now. There's not. Let's go ahead and rehost and maybe see if someone joins up. Let's show the advanced factions again. Weather, light rain. Alright, we'll see if anybody joins. Hopefully they will. But yeah, because I'd like to have a game. But I'll go ahead and talk a few more things that I'm hoping to see. Now, I've been liking multiplayer campaign. I haven't gotten to play it a ton. It was definitely a nice addition in the later Total Wars. And I'm hoping that you could actually have multiplayer campaign in Rome Total War. That would be kind of neat too, where you have like 3 or 4 people playing. I'm going to say max 6 of the same unit. And we'll say max 6 cav, max 6 missile, and no art. So that'll be my rules. We'll see if he agrees. And the only reason I'm doing that is because that way if he picks Rome, I can still play as Carthage or the Seleucids and have a chance of winning, because you can throw a few elephants into the fray and really keep the Roman player on his toes, since that it's so easy for people to just spam urban cohorts and win. And now if he picks a horse archer faction, I'm probably going to redefine the rules just a little bit. But we'll see. We will see what he picks. I'm not really sure what this guy's like or who he's wanting to play at, and he is picking the Seleucids, so I'm not super worried. Like, I mean, if he brings some elephants or something, that doesn't particularly scare me. I'm just trying to figure out what faction I would like to play as. He's playing as the Seleucids. He has the possibility of bringing elephants. Max 6 cav. Interesting. Who do I want to play as? How about the... What do the Armenians have? I'm trying to remember. Okay, they don't have chariots, that's right. And their infantry's pretty crappy. And he would have cataphracts just the same as me. So I'm not going to pick the Armenians. Let's look at Pontus. I think this would be a fun match. So let's take Pontus. So what I'll do is, I'll get some bronze shield pikes. I'll get 5 of them to hold the main line. I'll get a couple of some archer units. And then I'm going to pick... Cappadocian Cav is not as good as cataphracts, but I'm going to take some. They're still, a good heavy cav, but they don't have the mace attack of cataphracts. So I'm going to bring 4 Cappadocian Cav, and then I'm going to bring 1 more bronze sealed unit, and then we will bring a unit of scythe chariots. In case my opponent brings elephants, the scythe chariots will kind of be my my backup plan. So yeah, we'll do that. Actually, let's bring... one chariot archer as well. Give me a little bit of mobile archer. And then I'll just bring a unit of Eastern infantry or something. Oh wow. Eastern infantry suck. These hillmen are just as good. We'll bring some of them. They're no good, but I don't know. I don't know if this is the best army setup or not. Let's give it a try. He seems to be in a hurry to get started, so I will. Pontus is an interesting faction. A lot of the Eastern factions are definitely strange factions indeed. My opponent could distinctly have an infantry advantage. I'm hoping to level the playing ground in the cav department with my scythe chariots. Or if I can get them into the back of his infantry, it'll be a decisive blow. But you have to use scythe chariots right, and they can backfire on you if you don't.
Now, take up the sword.
Let's say GLHF, and I'm going to line up my infantry. I'm going to keep them in defensive formation since they're not any stronger than the Seleucid pikes. And I'm going to put my pikes up front. Maybe they'll take a few shots from his archers and give my archers a chance to not get thrashed. The Eastern archers don't spread out quite as much as like some of the Greek type archers, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. Or at least the Pontic and the Armenian ones don't, I don't believe. I know the Seleucid archers are more Hellenistic, it seems like. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do with this unit of hillmen, but I'll keep him around. His cataphracts, if he brings them, are going to be better than my Cappadocians. Like I said, the scythe chariots are going to help be the extra factor to help me win a cav fight, hopefully. They're going to have to be used right in order to do so. I'm going to put my chariots on skirmish and Cantabrian circle. There we go. He has brought elephants. Okay, I'm not super worried about the elephants. His pikemen are suffering in upgrades because of the elephants. And his cataphracts are also suffering in upgrades because of the elephants. So I have an opportunity to turn this in my favor. So I'm going to move forward just a little bit, come within range, and I'm going to use my chariot archers to help even out the archer fight. His cataphracts don't have a chance in Hades of catching my my chariot archers. So I will bring them up, wheel them into Cantabrian circle, and commence firing. And then I'm going to try... He's running his elephants way too close to my archers. So we're going to see if we can rout his archers. I'm flaming his elephants right now. He's charging his elephants right towards my side chariots. I'm not sure that's a smart move. I think I can frighten his elephants right out of the fight right here. Hopefully. Nope. His scythe chariots won that, or his elephants won that fight. I honestly expected that to go to the favor of the scythe chariots. But hopefully I can run his elephants amok right here. This is turning... Yep, okay, they went amok, so I'm going to get my cav out of there right away. No, so now his elephants are just as much a danger to his army as they are mine. He struck with his elephants way too early. Crap, his elephants are coming right towards my men. Let's see if I can drive them out with my phalanx. Crap. Okay. I'm kind of getting them away from my bronze shields. I need these elephants away from my army. The problem is, once they go amok, he has the chance like to drive a chisel down their brain, which he has not chosen to do, and which turned out good for him because they just killed like 20 of my pikes. And boy, that was close. I thought my scythe chariots would just rout those guys right out, yet they did not. But now, look, his elephants are going right towards his own pikes. So, like I said, these guys are a danger to his own men now. Yeah, get him, boys, get him, get him. Yeah, get him. Help old air out, baby. So his archers are getting... it's okay, he chiseled his elephants there, but he lost a bunch of pikemen too now. Alright, so my archers are clearly winning the fight now. He's taking his cataphracts wide to one side. Not sure what the point of that is. My chariot archers have easily helped me pull the skirmishing fight out. I'm going to open fire with my archers onto his infantry. He's now looking like he's bringing in a premature cataphract charge. Indeed he is. This is way premature. I'm going to be able to reinforce with my infantry, and you can see he's got units routing already. My chariots are still set to skirmish, that's why they're not listening to me. So yeah, my opponent has been far too hasty here. I'm going to cease firing at any of his archers and commence firing on all of his infantry. Alright, my opponent is absolutely screwed at this point. Whenever you start to get in a bad position like that, never ever ever prematurely charge your cav in. My opponent should have brought his infantry up. So now I have a massive advantage on my opponent. I can go from behind him and start firing my archers all over the place. So my archers are just going to have a field day with his men at this point. His men are going to be getting hit from all sides with missiles. So Pontus has like some interesting unique unit advantages over the Seleucids. The Seleucids have a heavy infantry advantage to be certain. But like I said, the Pontus and the Seleucids also have like a heavy cav advantage. No, don't go into wedge. Okay, there we go. He's gone ahead and admitted defeat at this point. I mean, he probably should have gone ahead and fought, but I mean, at some point I can't really blame him. He was totally going to lose that fight. So that was a clear victory for me. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's try and get another battle going here, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a little bit more decisive. Okay, I've just joined a max money game where the host is playing as Egypt on huge money. And he says CWB rules. I don't know what this guy is smoking, but there's only one faction that's good at this type of money, and that is Rome. So I don't want to use Rome, though, because that's going to be far too easy. I'll use a different faction against him. So I'm just trying to think here. So Egypt has all the chariots and stuff, of course, which get to be a tad bit redonkulous. So I'm just trying to think what I want to do here. I just played as the Pontians, which is a bit of an out-of-the-way faction. It's kind of fun. Playing Carthage against Egypt is kind of fun. I can show you, I'll show you kind of an interesting tactic that we can use here. So a lot of people pick Egypt because they know that their heavy chariots will absolutely massacre anything that you can throw at them. My opponent has said CWB, so I'm going to bring 6 Sacred Band completely tricked out. And then I'm going to bring 6 Pointy Infantry completely tricked out. So basically, in this kind of heavy infantry fight, the Egyptian will not be able to field anything that can take out my infantry. So that's kind of part of my strategy there. Now the remainder of my strategy is to bring some slingers to help reduce some of the number of his missiles. Though you have to keep in mind that his missiles are going to be absolutely superior to my own. So I'm going to bring 2 regular slingers. Let's bring a few Balearic slingers. I don't expect these guys to do great because my opponent's going to be fielding like Pharaoh's bowmen, which are absolutely and utterly ridiculous. But I mean, he's going to bring them. And then I'm going to bring just a couple of cav units to have just a smidge of mobility. I don't want like a ton of mobility. You know, actually, I don't think I need any mobility. It's on huge unit scale. I don't think he's going to be able to maneuver his chariots. So we'll just bring some extra Balearic slingers. Now, I don't have any more than 6 of them, and I don't have more than 8 missiles, so I'm within the realm of CWB. And I'm going to spread my my infantry out into like loose, long formation to keep his chariots out. And at this money level, heavy infantry is going to be able to slaughter chariots. He is playing in the desert, which is going to give Egypt the it's going to give Egypt some of the desert bonuses that my opponent's definitely going to be interested in. He's going to start over here. I'm going to run to the high ground to try and give my missile units some type of advantage. In fact, my Sacred Band infantry are going to be absolutely impenetrable to missiles at this money level. So I'm honestly very not worried about my opponent's missile force. I'll scoot these guys out into loose formation as needed once the game starts, but I need to rush this hill. So I'm just going to set up a general defensive formation here. Nothing fancy. And I'll spread my guys out into loose formation as I start to get closer to taking enemy missile fire. But right now, I want them to be in a compact formation so that I can quickly rush this hill. Now, of course, my opponent can start right here on top of this hill, too. I hadn't thought of that. Hadn't thought of that. Well, if he does, I'll rush him right off because my infantry's better than his. So let's get this party started. In fact, I kind of want my Sacred Band up front, just because these guys are such a powerhouse. Okay, and I can hold down the Alt button while clicking a movement order, and that'll move all my troops in formation. Some of you ask about that quite a lot. But that's how I'm going to move my troops in formation. It does not work on Shogun 2. Okay, my opponent did start right in front of me. And he does have a freak ton of missiles. So what I'm going to do, he's going to be completely reliant on these missiles, I'm certain of it. So I'm going to continue to rush. I'm going to go ahead and put all my Balearic Slingers into loose formation and let them start to return fire. I'm going to leave my pointy infantry back there to protect them. And I'm going to run my Sacred Band forward. So you can see how powerful Pharaoh's Bowmen are at this particular money level, just because of the amount of damage that they're causing my Sacred Band infantry, which you have to remember, like I said, those guys are practically immune to most missiles. But I'm just going to march my Sacred Band forward and let them mow down anything in their path, which includes his Pharaoh's Bowmen at this point, because my opponent has done a poor job of protecting them. I need to move up my pointy infantry to protect the back of my phalanx, though. So his Pharaoh's Bowmen are now silenced. I'm going to train some of my Balearic Slingers onto his flanking cav units. I don't even care if he kills my Slingers, just because I think I can take him in a straight-up infantry fight. And I'm going to use my pointy infantry just to guard the back of my Sacred Band. Here comes a misappropriated cav charge. It's going to hit a lot of the front of my phalanx. Whenever you're on huge unit settings, a lot of people aren't so great with their micro. So my Sacred Band are mopping through his Pharaoh's Bowmen right now. My opponent's trying to make some cav strikes on the back of him. And he's causing some pretty fair damage over here. But I don't think it's, in the end, going to be a successful venture. Okay, his Pharaoh's Bowmen are dying in this vicinity. His cav's now trapped right here. Alright, all of his chariots are routing. He now has no missile units, so I'm going to move my Balearic Slingers around to the flank. If these are Desert Axemen, they are. They get a bonus in the desert, so they do kind of concern me. Not massively, but they do concern me. At this point, I'm just going to start to outflank my opponent, though I'm feeling somewhat comfortable with the situation as a whole. My slingers are now to the rear of those guys. I've got point infantry protecting me there. Okay, we've got some chain routes going now. Watch all the rocks hitting these guys in the pack. This is going to be brutal. These guys are going to be getting hit in the back with a whole bunch of slinger stones. At least they should be. No, they're not firing right. Take them off fire at will. My opponent's saying good game. He thinks that I've won, and he's thinking correctly at this point. So Egypt at high money, bad idea. And whenever you bring that much missile component, you've got to be able to protect it. Putting it in a position on that hill where I could quickly rush it was bad news. So whenever you're playing as Egypt, your infantry is not going to be your strength. Your strength is going to be your chariots and your missiles. So do not allow yourself to get put in a position where you lose your strong points. So good game to my opponent. You don't see a game like this every day. Maybe some of you like it, maybe some of you don't. We just stoned Pharaoh to death. So I'm pretty sure Moses would have approved. So right there my slinger said, "Let my people go." Here's the remainder of the Pharaoh's guard being destroyed. Looks like they're trying to flee, but they have nowhere to flee to. And so they're being cut down on all fronts by my pointy infantry. Good stuff. I enjoy this. So the troops of Pharaoh have been utterly put down and vanquished, much to the delight of the Carthaginian soldiers. And I do believe that is it for the Egyptians. I don't think he has any units that came back from routing. It's just these guys fighting to the death. Poor saps. Anyway, hope you all have enjoyed these live Rome Total War battles. I might try and do one more, just for the sake of, giving you all some bang for the buck here. My opponent has admitted defeat. I'll say good game. I forget to say that sometimes. So, high money level, Egypt, with allowing your guys to get rushed, bad idea. I was actually surprised, though. Those Pharaoh's bowmen were really taking their toll on my spears. That really shocked me. I didn't realize they were that powerful. But you can see that my pointy infantry, some of them, and my sacred band really racked up a lot of kills. There was very little the Egyptians could do to stop the Carthaginian heavy infantry. Alright, I will do one more live one. Come on, you kicked me from the game. Seriously? Maybe he's waiting on someone else. I don't see any other games up right now. I'm not really feeling a 3v3 siege, though. It's going to take forever. Maybe this guy won't kick me this time. I'll try and pester him again. Let me in. I wants to fight you. Crybaby. Okay, I'll host my own game. Bunch of jerks. I'll do a CWB one this time, just because the other game I did wasn't. So we'll kind of keep it all fair here. I guess we'll play on the grassy barflands. Just, I guess for the sake of fair here once again. Although, I mean, a lot of factions actually just do better on flat land. Let's see if we get anybody to join. That no hi guy really didn't want me joining for some reason. That's okay. Not really worried about it. Oh, which faction should I play as? Well, maybe we'll wait and see what my opponent does. I play a lot of 15k games, but 10k is a lot trickier. I don't know, maybe I should play 10k. But I don't know, most people like 15k, so I'll leave it at that because a lot of people will probably like, not want to play in a 10k match. Let's see if anybody's gonna join. Germans are an interesting faction. I very rarely play as them. Maybe I'll play as them. If this guy picks Rome, I'll play as a barbarian faction, just for fun. Dune Kuhn. Let's say, hi, CWB. Oh yes, please pick Rome. So he is going to pick Rome. I really shouldn't be doing this on open ground, playing as Germania. That's actually kind of risky. Not sure if I want to do that or not. I kind of want to, but I kind of don't. Maybe let's play as... let's play as Germania, come on. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I get pwned? Yes, that's very likely, actually. Very likely. It's Chosen Axemen. They do have a brutal attack, but they've got, like, no defense. Knight Raiders, same thing. Now, Gothic Cav is some pretty good Cav, though, I have to admit. You know, I'll grant the Germans that. Now, okay, switching over to the Seleucids, Carthage, not sure who he's going to pick at this point. I don't know who he's going to stick with. I'll pick the Gothic Cav, place my general there, and get several units of Gothic Cav. It is very good Cav. It looks like he's going to stick with Carthage. So I'm thinking these archer warbands are so expensive, and they really don't have a very high missile attack is the sad thing. They've got very good armor and like melee attack. They've just got like a really poor missile attack. So let's think though. I need some infantry. And the biggest thing the Germans have going for them is fear. They can scare enemy troops and shock enemy troops with like a heavy charge and attack. So I'm going to tank up on Chosen Axemen right here. And then I'm going to throw down some Knight Raiders. Because these guys frighten nearby units and they will put some hurt on the flanks. I wish they just had like regular archer warbands. It's kind of frustrating that they don't. And I really want more Gothic Cav too. These guys are expensive. Maybe I can... Yeah, see, I could get 2 archer warbands for that now. I think this army will be acceptable. I mean, it would be good if I had some berserkers, but berserkers are kind of unreliable and very expensive. Like, they can be very good, but they can also completely backfire. My opponent doesn't know what CWB is, so he's probably new, which means that this may not be so bad for me. I'll just say... max 6 of the same unit. Yeah, no art. We'll see what he says. It's not really CWB rules, but I don't feel like explaining all the CWB rules by typing. Looks like my opponent's chosen a fair few number of units. I don't know, like, sometimes these players who don't understand CWB are new, sometimes they're not. And a new players, the biggest thing that they do wrong is their upgrades, and they'll pick like a ton of units without upgrades rather than upgrading the units. But it doesn't look like that's the case with my opponent. Looks like he's chosen a pretty fair number of men with a fair number of upgrades. I think right now he has more men than me. That could just be slingers though. So I mean, I'm not feeling scared really at what he's doing right now. So we'll see. I don't have a lot of missile troops, but I'm just hoping my missile troops can skirmish it out just a little bit, just because I'm going to be... all my infantry are vulnerable to missiles, and the only way I can take down these Carthaginian infantry is going to be from getting some flanking maneuvers. Now my Chosen Axemen will absolutely wreck the Carthaginian infantry if I can get them on the flanks.
But we didn't come here to run at the sight of blood.
But the Carthaginian infantry is going to have, they're going to just be a lot stronger unit from the front. Ah, dang, the rain is on. That's going to give slingers an advantage. You too, girl. Girl, huh? Not really sure why he called me a girl, but I don't guess it really bothers me that much. It's not going to have a whole lot of effect on the outcome of the game. There we go. Maybe he's just giving me like a little friendly trash talk, It would kind of make me feel more at home anyway, since that's the way it is on Halo. I mean, people are always trash talking on Halo. Alright. I have a ranged advantage, for sure. So I'll try and use that to the best of my ability. But if he has slingers, this rain is actually going to give his slingers an advantage. It slows down my rate of fire on my bows. And I'm also going to have to make sure and use my war cry. The war cry boosts your unit stats temporarily. It shows the power bar way in favor of the Carthaginian, so I'm not really sure what the reasoning is there quite yet. He's brought elephants as well. That is bad indeed. just because I don't have like a whole ton of archers, and I don't have any spear units. He's got Balearic Slingers, or no, those are Spanish Mercs. So my opponent has upgraded some of his troops. A lot of his troops. Jeez, he's got a lot of spear infantry. I do have a cav advantage as long as I can kill those elephants. So I'm going to sit back and flame the heck out of those elephants. And my opponent is just beelining towards me with the elephants. I'm going to charge all my infantry into his elephants. So hopefully we can rout them quickly. His elephants should rout here in just a moment. I'm not really taking any damage with my axemen. Okay. Okay, I haven't taken any damage with my axemen. So my opponent wasted his elephants there. I took some damage with my axemen, but not much. I think I'm going to go into War Cry real quick and charge those Spanish Mercs and just knock them out of the fight really fast, because I can't afford to take the damage from their pillow. Okay, his Spanish mercenaries routed instantly. I'm going to pull my men back, let my archer warbands do some work. I'm going to take them off flaming and off fire at will, so I can pick my targets here in a moment. Let's see if I can hit these pointy infantry. My opponent's moving his troops up in a pretty unorganized fashion. He's obviously a new player, so I'm going to show you how quickly German troops can rout phalanx troops whenever the phalanx troops aren't organized. Gothic Cav is going to knock out that long shield Cav right away. I'm just going to start mowing into some of this other Carthaginian stuff. So my opponent's allowing me to pick off a lot of his units one by one, which is fortunate for me. Otherwise, he's upgraded his troops fairly smart. It's just the way in which he's using them right now that's killing him. I'm going to hit this unit that's got its flank turned to me with my archers. That's just round shield Cav, so I'm feeling pretty confident there. I'm going to move up while some of his infantry is not in a good position to help. So never engage an infantry unit or a phalanx from the front. Always make them turn. And then wherever they turn, hit them in that flank. So right here I'm going to hit my opponent from all kinds of flanks. I'm going to run my infantry back. I think I'll be able to rout some of his units here if I can hurry to support. I think we're going to be able to put the Carthaginians out of commission right here. Yep, we've got a chain route going. I'm going to take my Gothic cavalry on through. Yeah, my opponent's just allowed himself to get too singled out here. I can kind of afford to bunch my guys up a little bit more now at this point. These Sacred Band Spearmen are going to be pretty tough. They're not necessarily just going to break right off the bat. And you can see that my guys took quite a thrashing despite that I was able to outmaneuver my opponent there. There we go. I'm going to war cry one more time. Okay, at this point I'm just trying to outmaneuver my opponent. I'm going to kind of cyclo-charge this last unit of Sacred Band. There we go. Alright, this last unit of Sacred Band should be as good as gone now. But these guys, like I said, in the face of Barbarian Infantry, these guys are tough. So they're not going to go down easy. My opponent has left the game. That was pretty nice of him. Archer Warbands never left the fight either. Anyway, good game to my opponent. He definitely made some maneuvering mistakes there that allowed me to win. I know that he was obviously new, so I'm not like going to sit here and count this as some kind of outstanding victory to me. But you can see that the Barbarian factions are capable of winning fights like this as long as your opponent gives you the opportunity, which under normal circumstances they won't. You can see my Gothic Cavalry cleaned house, but some of my Chosen Axemen did pretty well too. Anyway, good game to my opponents. Hope you all enjoyed these live battles. It kind of gives you a chance to see how I pick armies, see how I play. Hopefully you got a little bit of my thoughts on Rome 2 also. I can give you more thoughts on Rome 2, so you ask me different questions or what you want to hear from me about Rome 2. And then another thing I was thinking about doing is as news comes out for Rome 2, we'll have like a discussion about it on my channel, and I'll kind of keep you updated on the news as the game comes along. Heir of Carthage signing off for now. YouTube, hope you enjoyed it. I will be back in the near future with some campaign action.